What is up, Nintendorks? It is Kyle, aka Mr. Space Heater, and today I am here with another tutorial in which we will be removing the backplate from your Nintendo Switch. This is for people who are getting new backplates, or custom ones, or the base type ones, etc., and want to replace it with the one that's currently installed on your Switch. And this actually is not a super complicated process, I'm glad to say. This shouldn't take too long. We do still need 2 screwdrivers. We do need the TriWing, which is the 3 prongs, and then the regular Phillips, both of which are pretty small. Again, as we do this, we're going to want to do it in steps and really stay organized and make sure we don't lose any screws. These are hard to replace. I actually don't know if you can replace them. I've never tried. I have lost a couple, but I had to take them off of my own Switch. Fun facts to replace them for people. Anyways, sorry if I sound a little groggy. I am a little sick. Happy December in Wisconsin. So the first thing you're going to need is your TriWing, so I'm going to put the Phillips aside. We're going to take the TriWing. We have 4 screws to take care of, and they are in the corners. These are the ones you definitely need to be the most careful with, I would say. There's another pair that are kind of rough, but these ones definitely are easy to strip. Everything on here is really tight, of course. Purposefully, it is, it's a console. You want it to be safe. Another thing I want to say before we get started, actually, is you'll see that there is this cloth down. You're going to want something down when working on this, if you're going to be setting it down. Usually when I'm working with these, I have them I'm holding them the whole time, as I probably will be with this a bit. But you definitely want to have something soft down for the sake of the screen. Otherwise, screen protectors. Alright, I can't stress that enough. Get a screen protector. Alright, this one's too fat, but I have an extra, hey! These are definitely pretty small. Take it nice and easy. Get it on out of there. You might notice my hands are extra shiny. I was glossing controllers earlier. I tried to wash my hands a couple times and use some fun chemicals to get that off. Obviously did not work entirely. I am still shimmering. This one was giving me some trouble. You just want to kind of spin around very lightly until you can feel those grooves. Give it a nice little push down while you spin, not too hard. And definitely make sure you find your center of gravity as you're doing it so you don't accidentally slip and send the screwdriver sliding in any direction. That can also cause damage, so let's not do that. Alright, I've taken out the 4 screws. I gave them their own little pile over here. Remember, keep it nice and organized. I will, at the end of this, go back with the walkthrough on how to put on the back plate when we're done here. That is it for the TriWing. We're going to set that guy aside. I'm going to bring in my Phillips, and we're going to do this in waves here. So we have a couple areas we got to hit. We've got a screw under here, which I'll get to. We've got 2 on the sides in the middle. We've got 1 on top, and we've got 2 on bottom. Those are what remain to get this off. We're going to go under here first. So you're going to want to kick that kickstand up. There's a little screw right there under where your micro SD card actually goes. If you're putting this on your own Switch and you have a micro SD card, make sure to turn off your whole system and take that SD card out first. It will be protruding right over the screw. But then go ahead and get in there. Nice and tight. This guy is very short. He will come out quickly. He is very little. He is just a little guy. Try not to lose him. I'm going to put him aside. He's the only one of his kind. That step is done. We're going to move on to the sides. There's one on either side, actually in where the Joy-Con slides. We're going to do that next. And it's the one right in the middle. These other ones, don't even touch them. Don't worry about them. We're only going to worry about the very, very, very middle guy. There's 5. I guess I should also state that. Even though it can be seen, just want to specify there are 5 screws on the side, and we want the guy in the center. And I'm going to let you know right now, he's kind of a doozy. And this is the other ones with the biggest chance of stripping. They are very tight. You want to take it very slow. Perfect. Oop, come on out of there, buddy. Put him in his own pile, because all these screws are different, so definitely keep them separated. So now we're going to go the one on top, which you'll see is almost dead center. It's right next to the vent, right here. So not the headphone jack, folks. We're talking this guy. Put him in his own pile. And then we have 2 on bottom, and they're on either side of the charging port. Oh gosh. Ba-doom. And with that, that should be all of our screws for getting the back plate actually off. We are not done yet, and just to let you know, it's not just a matter of popping it off. There's 2 more steps to do. But that is it for actually being able to take this off of the console itself. And you're going to want to be very gentle when doing that, because this guy pops open in some spots, right? Pretty easily. So the sides will pop off pretty nice. The bottom will come off really nicely. This side also, you know, everything's kind of coming off here. The only area you got to watch for is up here. Most of it's going to come apart pretty nice. You want to make sure you open your latch for the game card, right? Because that definitely is a part of it. But it actually clips in right under the headphone jack. So that part is going to be the tightest, and you're not going to want to just like hardcore pry it off. But with a little bit of work back and forth and some up, giving it a little bit of pressure from the bottom, it'll just come right off like that. And this is the inside of your console. You're going to want to store this someplace safe until we get the back plate on, because we have one more step to do. So let's get this out of the way. The back plate is actually not done yet. Flip it over. On the inside, we have to take off the game case cover, and we're going to have to take off the kickstand. All this stuff comes with us. The back plate itself will not have these pieces as a part of it. Those belong to the console. So let's actually take this guy off first. There's 1 screw in the middle of it. Just one. Give him his own little pile over here. And you might as well put the cover with it. Bam. And now we got to get this off, which actually takes 3 screws. Because I'm holding the Phillips, we'll take off these 2 first. There's 1 on either side here. I'm going to get those off. Again, give them their own pile over here. Bam. This is actually a TriWing. So I'm going to come back to my red and clear guy here. Get this guy off. He's another shorty. Kind of like that second one we did that was under the SD card. He's not a very big guy. We're going to give him his own spot there. And now that this is off, we actually can remove this black piece, which, usually comes with the silver part attached, but that can come off. Just because that's actually attached to, dink, your kickstand. So now that those are all off, we are officially done with this back plate. This guy, we are now going to put aside. Alright, so now we can actually get to putting the new or replacement back plate onto your console. But again, the first thing we have to do is actually put our extra pieces onto the back plate. So let's get our back plate in here. Today, I have featured this little Pokemon back plate here. It's a little kickstand. Alright, so let's go ahead and start doing this. Flip this guy over. First, let's get that kickstand back on there. So actually I shouldn't have flipped it over, pardon me. We want to actually get him on there first. So it's on there. We have to take that little silver rim out. Just like that. Nothing crazy. Put your old kickstand aside. Let's get it in our new kickstand here. I could have had that on focus, that'd have been cool. Throw this over the top. Now this is going to be kind of a pain. We need this to clip into that metal piece. It's going to be a little bit of pressure, but it'll clip in nice. And now everything in here is attached. First thing is we're going to get that silver guy back up. We're just going to go back in reverse order in our piles here. Depending on the shell you get, these third-party replacement shells can be kind of wonky. So don't like over tighten it or anything like that off the bat. You can do that to these because they're not necessarily the correct depth. I'm going to set the TriWing aside again, back to the Phillips. Let's get these 2 guys in either side up here. Now, let's get this up here. This just sticks right into here. Just make sure this is under here where the bottom square hole clips right into its stopper. Grab our one lonely screw up here for this guy. Get him right in there. So now the back plate's all set. one thing you want to make sure is that your kickstand's working okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And it certainly is. Kickstand's looking good. Anybody want to leave a comment below? Do you actually use your kickstand, or are you like me and use a third-party stand? Anyways, now we have our back plate. Let's go ahead and get it put on the console. Bring that bad boy back in here. Obviously, fits right over like the previous one did. It should click almost right into place. Some rough areas, depending on your third-party casing, can be where it clips in for that headphone jack. Make sure you're getting everything all the way in. A lot of them you will hear those clicks, that it is in place. So definitely want to make sure that that is happening. So again, make sure that top is clipped in. That's all nice and clipped in. Beautiful. From here, let's start putting all our screws in. So again, reverse order. We're going to start with we're going to start with the bottom. Hello. Get our 2 screws over here. Give these some finesse, but not too hard. You're going to need a little pressure initially just to get it through the hole, because the holes on the third parties backplates can be a little weird. Just screw in slowly. These ones have a very subtle stopping point, and if you just keep going, you can easily strip the hole clean. So just go until you can tell you've reached the surface of the bottom of the switch to know it's nice and secure. So moving on. Now let's go ahead and do the top. Got our lonely screw over here. He's the same as the bottom. These are the ones we really got to watch out for. Like I said before, not to go in too far, just a little pressure off the start to go ahead and get it through the hole that is pre-drilled into the back plate. And then once you're past that point, it gets a little tight, give it a little twist, a nice last lock. It's lower than flush, you know it's in there deep, but you haven't over twisted. That is a good sign. Alright, moving on to the sides. So there it is right in the middle. You can kind of see the paint brown. Now this one isn't too much of a pain. These ones are easier to strip the heads of the screws when taking out. Putting them back in, they actually do have a nice ending point that you can feel is super tight, and they stop on their own. Pretty easy to not overdo. So these ones, thankfully, when putting them back in, are no problem. Now, onto the back. Let's lift up that kickstand again. We got to get that screw back under the micro SD slot. He's a little guy again. Just going to drop him on in there. Finesse his way in. This one, put a little bit of pressure. Go ahead and give that a shut. Lock it in. Alright, so now that we've done the little one under the kickstand, the only ones left remaining are the 4 corners. These ones you want to make sure are nice and tight, but again, do not over tighten. And with that, you are all set. Everything is attached nice. You've got a working kickstand, and you still have access to your micro SD card. Everything is securely attached. You can kind of go around all the sides, make sure everything's nice and flush and looking good, which it certainly is, I would say. Bam, and that is your console. And if you got something off my shop, chances are you probably didn't just get yourself a back plate. So now you can go ahead, match up those Joy-Con from my previous video that you assembled yourself, or maybe you just ordered Joy-Con from me, who knows, right? And bam, you are set and ready to play. Thank you guys for watching very, very much. I really hope this was helpful. Sorry if it was a little bit slow. I do just like to be thorough and make sure I kind of cover all my bases here. If you are interested in anything custom like this, be sure to check down in the description. There will be a link to my Etsy store, which is called The Art Bubo. I myself am Mr. Space Heater. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. That's Mr. Space Heater, all one word with no periods or spaces. Anyways, that's enough personal plugs in my shops and social media. Here on YouTube, please be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it or if it was helpful at all. Please pass it on to other people who could use this knowledge. Also, be sure to click subscribe if you want to see more walkthroughs like this, as well as new Joy-Con content that is coming in the future. And be sure to watch out for some of our streams as well that are coming up, and all sorts of other stuff that we have jam-packed and planned for 2019. Thank you guys. This is Mr. Space Heater, switching off.